Okay, good. I have a timer, and I wanted the lights up so I could see all of you and see what you're wearing. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. I'm so thrilled to be here for Life is Beautiful because life is beautiful, and I especially want to thank Amanda Slavin for inviting me here. She's a great friend, and you just met my friend Erica, who has like bigged me up so much that I can't possibly now do anything to impress you. So we have that to work with. I'm here today to talk about why style matters. And some of you, I heard the huge round of applause for What Not to Wear, and thank you very much for that. Some of you don't look old enough to have seen What Not to Wear when it originally aired, but that's fine. Repeats are good. Repeats are good. Here's the reason that I became a fashion stylist. I had a skin disease that I got when I was 4 years old. It made me insecure. I got bullied. I became a bully as a defense mechanism. And I gravitated towards fashion because I wanted to be pretty and cool and in the know. And so that was my choice. Except I got to college and I was like, I don't want to be a designer. And my dad gave me some very important advice. He said to me, don't go to school for undergrad, for anything in particular. Go to school to learn how to think, how to write, how to think critically, how to speak. Learn those things and you'll take them with you wherever you go. So I studied my own kind of combination of philosophy, psychology, and literature, mostly German. I started with the French existentialists, and then I realized they were just faking it because the Germans were really the ones who started the whole existential thing. Look it up later. Anyway, I graduate from college. What is my first job? Well, it is at Vogue magazine. I'm 21 years old, and if anybody had told me that what I was in for, I basically would have decided to be a professor instead of philosophy, probably. I got to Vogue, and it was like sink or swim. And I had never really fit in. I never felt like I really fit in because I felt like an alien from a very young age, right? If you look different and people treat you differently, it's harder to feel like you have a community, like you can fit in. And when I interviewed for my job at Vogue, I was 90 pounds. I was in the throes of an eating disorder. I was 5'7", which I still am, I'm pretty sure. I might be shrinking, but anyway, if I stand up straight, I'm probably 5'7". And by the time I was there at Vogue for a year, I was 180 pounds. I was a size 16, the only Vogue assistant, I think before or since, to be that size. Talk about being the elephant in the room, right? I was working with a bunch of double zeros, and I didn't fit in there either. And I thought that being at Vogue, how could I leave Vogue? How could I leave the most important fashion magazine in the world? It was very hard. It was a tough decision. And I stayed in magazines, but I started to work for different magazines. Then I started to work for stylists. I freelanced as an assistant. Altogether, I assisted about 5.5 years. And that was how I learned to style. I worked with every major photographer, I worked with every editor, every stylist to learn and understand what it means to style a photograph. I learned and understood what it meant to fake somebody looking good in clothes, and I also learned how to fit people in clothes. These were all great skills, but somewhere along the way, I got really disillusioned. I finally, after many years of, assisting and all other sorts of things. I mean, I would do special projects. I finally started styling on my own. And lo and behold, I get a phone call from Condé Nast. Hey, come back, be the senior fashion editor at Mademoiselle. I don't know if you guys know that magazine, may she rest. But at the time, it was a great place to be. But those 4 years that I was the senior fashion editor, I was the most narcissistic, most materialistic, most unhappy person. And I didn't know it. Right? You can only kind of look back in retrospect when you realize that what you've been doing didn't feel fulfilling. And so I got fired, which was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I suggest all of you do it. Don't fire somebody, get yourself fired. Because what I realized was that I was staying in a job for all the wrong reasons. Because I got perks, I got cars home, I got free clothes. I mean, that's still really good, I'm not gonna lie. But I stayed because I was lazy. And I stayed because I didn't know what else I could do, frankly. So I got fired, and it pushed me out of my comfort zone. And I really spent about a year kind of being devastated and floating around and not knowing what I was going to do with myself until, the universe kind of answered my call. Hi, Stacy's styling agency? Is this Kramer and Kramer? Hi, we're looking for stylists who are freelance who can dress models, have worked in editorial, can dress celebrities, can dress real people, because by that time I'd done tons of commercials, right? I'd worked with men and children, and I knew how to dress pretty much any body. And we're also looking for somebody who can talk a lot, without a script. So I went on this audition for a show called What Not to Wear. They were like, it's an English show with these two bitches, and you need to be bitchy and be mean. And I was like, wow, I'm pretty good at actually being snarky, because I'm pretty mean to myself. And I didn't think that at the time. I didn't realize that that was why I was good at what I was doing, right? Being critical, because I had this loop running through my head. Oh, yeah, you suck. Yeah, okay, that's easy. I can tell other people they suck. The way they dress sucks. But here's the funny thing that happened, right? 4 months, 8 screen tests, every freelance stylist in Manhattan thought they had the job. They were all saying they had the job, so I was like, forget it, right? I get a phone call when I'm with my family in Spain. We were in Marbella, and I won't go into the saga of my sister wanting Italian food and me saying, we're in Spain, idiot, and she flipping out and screaming at me and like ran away crying. It's a long story. It all worked out in the end. I mean, we've gotten past it, but it was pretty traumatic at the time. And I get a phone call from my agent, right? This is a styling agent. This is not like a talent agent, who says to me, you are in the top 27 people who they're considering for the hosts. And I was like, okay. She said, you got to come back tomorrow. They're going to do a cocktail party and watch you guys all mingle and see who has chemistry. I was like, hell no, no way. They got me on tape for like a cajillion hours at this point. I am in Marbella, where I'm getting a tan, and my dad said he would buy me a dress at Prada. I was like, no way am I coming home. Hung up the phone, and I was like, forget you people, I know what I'm doing. My stepmother looked at me and said, you're going home tomorrow. We are going to put you on a plane. We're going to get you a ticket right now, because you are going to go home, you're going to go to that cocktail party, and you are going to get that job, and it is going to change your life. I get chills every time I think about that. My stepmother, very wise woman, she was right, and I did, and it did. Because it wasn't until I got to What Not to Wear that I realized 2 things. That fashion, that style, let me rephrase, not fashion, style and self-esteem are innately connected. And so, is it Walgreens that says they're at the corner of happy and healthy? I'm at the corner of style and self-esteem. You can find me over there. And I really believe that What Not to Wear was the next iteration, right? When magazines were king, queen, whatever you want to call them. When I left print to go and do this television show, all my friends who were fashion editors were like, sorry you failed. Television, so pedestrian. Oh. There was no television that was style relevant, right, in 2002. So, the funny thing is, Clinton wasn't with me the first season. But the second season, when he came on, he told me to start lying about my age, right? I should have listened, but I didn't. I was like, who lies about their age at 32? I forgot that eventually I'd be telling the story of when I started at What Not to Wear, and I would be old. So there's that. But anyway, my point was that I learned that style and self-esteem were innately connected. I also learned that I could make other people look at themselves differently, truly see themselves differently. And the saying, seeing is believing? That's shortcut for something else. Seeing yourself differently means that you can feel something different about yourself, right? And if you can feel differently about yourself, you can think something different about yourself. And if you can think something different about yourself, then you can believe something different about yourself. And all you need is a nudge. And that's why style is so important to me. I got bored of runway shows. Everybody was looking at every other editor and being like, is she wearing more expensive shoes than me? I mean, it was just meaningless. And all of a sudden, I found myself in this tiny studio. I forgot that people were actually watching this show, right? Because it was me, and it was Clinton, it was a couple camera guys, and a woman who needed to see herself differently. And I swear to you, the first time I put a mom of 3 in a pair of jeans that made her ass look great, I felt something change. I felt me start to feel better about myself for being able to help someone else. And the greatest thing about that was that I realized it's compassion, right? It's empathy. All of the things that these women thought about themselves, they weren't good enough, they weren't worth it, they didn't deserve it, were all things that I would say to myself. And if I was going to tell these women the truth, how beautiful they were, how wonderful they were, and really mean it, I had to give myself a break too. So those are the 2 reasons that I think that I was successful in working on What Not to Wear, in the sense that I had a career skill set that really allowed me to make people look good in the clothing they wear, right? I can make you look 10 pounds thinner. I can make you look younger. I can do those things. Those aren't magic tricks. That's actually hard work and a ton of practice and many, many years of styling and actually watching people far more talented than myself do it. But the other reason was that I came to the table with real insecurity. The same kind of insecurity I saw in every single woman we did over the 500 shows that we did, even some of the guys. Do you remember when we did guys? They don't have the same kind of emotional catharsis. Let's just leave it at that. So for me, it was really important to understand that as the show went on, we stopped being so snarky, right? Granted, we had everybody told me when I got into television, talent is expendable. And meanwhile, the 10 years that I was at TLC, I saw 6 different heads of TLC, 5 different heads of Discovery Network, which owned TLC. All the executives seemed to be expendable. But me and Clinton, we just hung out. But I think that what was so important about it was that we got different directives from different heads of the channel. And about season 5, we really started to hit our groove, which was realizing that we didn't have to be nasty, right? I mean, break them down to build them back up. We could be snarky and funny, but we always had to let that person know that we cared about them. And that what we were doing was to help them find an identity that truly belonged to them. Because the root of the best style you can have, the cause of the best style that you can have, is self-awareness. And I mean something very specific by that. You have to understand your body. You have to understand your taste. You have to understand what you love and what you hate about your body. And then you have to let go of that emotion. You can look at it, but now you have to look at it objectively. Now, so I tell people to do this all the time. Stand in front of a mirror naked for as long as it takes. Look at every single pore on your face. Look at your boobs, if one's big. Well, guys, not you. If you're a guy, look, if you think your chest is too hairy or you don't have enough hair, whatever, your muscles aren't big enough, whatever it is. Women, it's like you look at your boobs and one's bigger than the other and you hate that. And it makes bra shopping a nightmare. Or you don't like your tummy, or you hate your ass, whatever it is. Sit there and dwell in it. And then dwell in possibility. Because what you can do once you understand yourself, once you understand what you love and what you don't love about your body, is that you can work with all of it. When you ignore what you hate about your body, you can't dress it, right? And that's how, I'll tell you a little secret, and I learned this, the finale for What Not to Wear was the last time I was in Vegas. 4 years ago? I learned that you can judge a book by its cover. Because when people don't feel okay in their skin and in their body, you will be able to tell. When a woman tells me she doesn't like her ass, you think I don't know that already? I'm like, girl, you're wearing a sweater to your knees. That is not doing you any favors. Because ignoring a problem doesn't make a problem go away. Ignoring a problem means you have a problem that you're not dealing with. The minute you confront a problem, that problem becomes smaller. Then you look for a solution. So I borrowed a term I wrote a book called The Truth About Style, and I borrowed a term from acting, from improv, that's yes and. And what that means is, well, I'll do an improv example, okay? Somebody hands you an orange cat, and they're like, here's an orange cat. You can say, no, I don't want that cat. I don't even see that cat. And then you basically shut down the scene, right? It has nowhere to go. But you can say, oh, I love this orange cat. I can't believe he's a private detective and sings opera. You've created this whole wonderful, beautiful world because you've accepted what you've been given, and then you build from there. So you need to accept who you are in order to create what you want. And that is true about style, and it's true about life. And when I first heard about yes and, I was like, oh my God, that's like a massive life philosophy. It's a style philosophy. So yes and. Why did I think of that? You know, two simple words, yes and. I was like, what comes after and? Nothing needs to come after and. And is the action. Yes is acceptance, and is proactive. Bye. It was nice to see you. Love your pink cardigan. That's why I have the house lights up, so I can see all of you. I can see who's bailing. Anyway, where was I besides yes and? Oh, right. If you hide what you don't like about it, that is the first thing people are going to see. Hiding in your clothes implies shame. And I never want women in particular, because I think that women suffer from such an emotional identity crisis from the way that we look. I mean, and that has to do with society and advertising and the way that we've been raised and brought up. The issue with that is that if you are emotional about it or think that you're not enough, or you compare and despair and all the things that, you know, are sort of those phrases, you get in your own way. You are all that matters. Fashion is about an industry that is run and built on insecurity. Style is about an individual finding what works for them. That's a big difference, right? Wouldn't you all say? You, the blonde with the stripes over there. That's all I needed, just that. So I don't want you to hide in your clothes. I want you to emphasize what you love about your body, and then I call it consciously camouflage what you don't love so much. You're never gonna love everything about your body. 98% of women across the world have issues about their body, and I suffered from them as well. I'll probably have body dysmorphia the rest of my life. I'm a fluctuator. I go up 15 pounds. I go down 15 pounds. It's a nightmare. You should see. My closet has like 16 different sizes in it. It's not a nightmare. Anyway. Can all of you see my shoes, by the way? Kitten heels. Kitten heels are back, just so you know. You heard it here. I'm like, there's no place like Las Vegas. There's no place like Las Vegas. So I want you to think about consciously camouflaging what you don't like about your body, and that is how you build great style. And style does not always come from what is trendy. Style has to come from what speaks to you. And when you know yourself, when you understand your body, you're gonna be able to look at a buffet table of trends, and you'll be able to say, I'm a vegetarian, so I'm gonna pass on that pig in a blanket, but I'm gonna take that mushroom tort. That's how you're gonna think about how you shop. What works for me? What speaks to me? What represents who I am? Because I think, bye in the cutoff shorts, mwah, lovely to see you. Bye with the long hair, straight hair, very nice. Oh, also in cutoff shorts, okay, bye. Where was I? I get distracted when people leave. It hurts my feelings. It's okay, they probably had to go see somebody else. All right. I'm the last speaker of the day. I'm sure you guys have been through a lot already today. But so I want you to think about trends and what speaks to you. And that's how you also affect the industry, right? If you start shopping for what you want instead of just buying into trends, designers are going to have to change what is trending. They're going to have to listen to their consumer. And when you're talking about a $3 billion industry for fashion and beauty, you are going to make a big difference. It's just as important as you guys voting. I mean it. You want things to change, you have to change them. And look, I think this is starting to happen. You know, I'm seeing the fashion industry respond to the fact that, you know, you don't just want white, skinny girls who are 100 feet tall and 60 pounds to represent what fashion means. We need diversity. And that doesn't just have to do with race, that has to do with age. Hello, I'm older now. So it has to do with lots of things. We want to see ourselves reflected in an industry that's made us feel like we're not enough. Enough of that. Enough of not being enough. Amen. We want to see ourselves reflected in size. Don't tell me that a size 0 to a size 8. Sorry, I have to tell this story. I walked into a store in LA and I was like, oh, could I see this dress? And I think probably at the time I was like, I asked for it in an 8. And they said, I'm sorry, we don't sell plus sizes. True story. True story. And I was like, okay, you gotta be kidding me. Now we're coming out with 000s. What? First of all, who wants to be a 0? You matter, you're here. Let's give it a different name. Why are we going by numbers? And also, guys, if you've seen What Not to Wear, you know that I would say, if you want to be a 2 and you're a 12, just cross out that 1. Good for you. You hear me? You just need a Sharpie. The number in a label or on a scale or your age does not define who you are. And that is why style is such an incredibly empowering. Bye, guys. Love your off-the-shoulder blouse. That's trending. Yeah. So we're starting to see changes, right? I'm starting to see plus-size companies coming to me, asking me to consult, asking what I think about their styles, which makes me so happy. If the average size, have you guys all read that Tim Gunn article? Right? That open letter? Okay, I mean, look, this is not a new argument. We've been saying for years that if a size 14, 16 is the average size in America, what are we doing not making more of that size in all kinds of clothing, right? And above that, why does size limit your right to look the way you want? It's bullshit. Things are starting to change and you have to help things change. That's the way you're gonna do it. You have all of the buying power. You know, this is how you change an industry, by insisting upon what you want. So, should I review? Don't hide. Consciously camouflage. You are not your size, your age, a number on a scale, but you are what you do, what you say, and when you are feeling unsure of yourself, when you're anxious, and I know that it's so easy to internalize not feeling like enough, go to your family, go to your best friends, look at yourself in their eyes, as a reflection in their eyes. Look at yourself through their eyes and see what you're worth. Know how much you're valued, know how much you matter. You are not going to get self-esteem solely from your clothes, but your style can reflect the kind of self-esteem that you've built. Now, we have some time, and I would like some questions. Go. Hey, girl, hey. Stand up, tell me your name. Wait, I think somebody's bringing you a mic. Hey, hey, hey. Wait, I can't see your, is that like an Iron Maiden t-shirt?
Yes, it is Iron Maiden. Rock bands are
Go,
always...
girl.
Music saves lives. Music saves lives.
Music saves lives, so does fashion. I mean, style.
Yes. So I work for a premium retailer with the N word in a good way.
Cool.
And I am a personal stylist for that retail.
Go, girl.
And we have principles similar to what you have stated about being direct, but in a nice way, being honest, but in a nice way as well. But my question to you is, I have gotten off the facet of now not just showing them what we sell, but suggesting other places.
Okay, so, wow, are you doing that? Because that's awesome if you are.
I am, but
You are awesome.
It's more caring so of what works for them, and
That's right.
And I love the commission. Don't get me wrong, but it's just more so of giving the suggestion of what works for them.
Oh my God, there's like so many things I need to say to you. First of all, thank you, because
Yes.
it's very hard if you go shopping and you work with the sales associate who is working on commission solely to convince you to buy something that does not work for you. And believe me, guys, you don't need me, right? You all have inner Stacys in your head. You know when you look good in something, and you know when you look like shit. And if you're not sure, don't buy it. And if somebody is trying to convince you to buy it, you gotta wonder what the agenda is. If there's a commission involved, right, then all of a sudden you gotta be like, I'm gonna step away from this. Thank you, I'll be back. Now you are an exception, because one thing that What Not to Wear got a lot of criticism for was that we were critical of the way people dressed and that we should leave people alone and let them be who they want. A lot of times the fact is that people either don't know what they want and they're dressing in a way thinking that style doesn't matter, that it doesn't change their life, right? I can't tell you how many stories at What Not to Wear. It wasn't about the episode. It was what happened to these people after. They got married, they got better jobs, they had better relationships with their kids. They left bad marriages. I mean, just so many stories that were all built on the fact that, hey, I can make this change, and it's such a deep, visceral, quick change, I can do lots of other things. I can go get that job I deserve. I can go find that guy I deserve. It changes the way you see yourself, and it's so quick and fast. That's what makes it so special. Here's my thing. There's a difference between being critical and being constructively critical. And what you just said is not just about showing people clothes. If you're gonna tell somebody, you know, I'm not feeling that for you, the best way to be constructively critical is to offer them an alternative. Compare, right? That's how you prove your point every single time. I will never argue with anybody on the basis of taste. I'm never gonna say, that's ugly. It's not, by the way, I'm just pointing at you. I'm never gonna say that, right? Because that's an argument that nobody can win. I can think something's ugly, you can think it's awesome, you can think it's beautiful. But if I can say, that top does nothing for your figure, and I can show you one that does, I have won. I have proven my point based on geometry alone. So the fact that you're actually standing up for your consumer, that is an amazing thing, and I hope you open your own store. I really do.
I'm working on
I'm very
some
happy to
things.
hear that.
Thank you.
An
Love your
honest individual.
Love your show. Love everything about it.
Thank you.
And I told someone like myself when I see you guys making the little snarky comments and saying jokes, because I'm the exact same way when I freelance and style people's closets. It's like, why do you have 50 pairs of pants that are the exact same? I just need to know what's going on.
Yes, I taught you well. Yes, right here in the front. Can she get a mic? Oh, okay, great, thank you, sorry. That sounded bitchy. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Hi. I just wanted to say, Sarah and I grew up watching your show.
Stand up, tell me your name. Sister and you grew up watching the show. Awesome.
Hi. My name's Katie.
Casey?
Katie.
Katie, okay.
Katie.
I think you need to talk into the mic a little bit more.
Okay, is that
Oh.
better? Hi, I'm Katie.
Hi.
Okay. Oh, by the way, it's her 21st birthday.
Shut up! Whose 21st birthday is it? We need to buy you a beer.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, I wanted to ask, was there anybody in particular on What Not to Wear who maybe changed your life or touched you in a certain way?
Oh, that's a really hard one. I would have to say probably a girl named Amy, who was season 3. She'd had thyroid cancer. She gained a lot of weight. She was feeling, I mean, thankfully the cancer had been, cured. I think they just took out her thyroid, but she gained weight because of her hormone fluctuation. She was so down on herself. And she couldn't believe what she saw in the mirror, like when we were done with her. When she left, she met the man of her dreams. She got the job she'd always wanted. She got married, and she had a kid. And she dyed her hair platinum, went to Weight Watchers, lost 60 pounds. I don't care about the weight. I know, I see you in the back, like, woohoo, you're cute. Okay, but here's the thing. It wasn't about the weight. It was about the knowledge, the motivation, the proactivity that was instilled in her by seeing herself in a different light. When I say it's a question of perspective, I mean that literally and figuratively, right? Perspective is everything. It's the difference between, being miserable and feeling like you're helpless in the world and changing it. That's the difference. And one other thing that I wanted to say is that there is another person, and I had it in my head. It's not Dolly, it's somebody else. It's coming back to me. I can't remember her name. Oh my God, that's terrible. Anyway, she had really long hair, and she had one boob that was bigger than the other. She'd been operated on a bunch of times, and she had terrible scars. Now, I have scars all over my body from the treatment that I had to use to get rid of my psoriasis. And by the way, after I left What Not to Wear, it took about 2 years to figure out why I was constantly exhausted and constantly in pain, and I had chronic fatigue, and I was swelling, I was gaining weight, I couldn't get up. Well, it turns out that now I have psoriatic arthritis, which is a little bit like rheumatoid arthritis, except worse. And I don't really have the skin disease anymore, but now I have the internalized version of it. And what that has also taught me is that I have to take care of myself. So I was able to relate to her because I wear my scars now as badges of honor, because I got through a very, very difficult time as a child. I made it to the other side of that. That doesn't mean I'm over it. It doesn't mean I don't have insecurities about it. But what it means is that I can live with those. I can live with those scars, internal and external, and be able to be proud of getting through, right? And that was an incredible point of relationship with her. That was an incredible point of connection. So I loved her too, even though I can't remember her name. Okay, that's just because I'm old. I'm losing memory. Next. Yes, right here. Sorry, I'm going to get to the back in one sec. You in the striped tank. And the running sneakers.
There's a lot of walking here. So. Okay, you mentioned changing the world. And I think you're doing that in the fashion industry and person by person. But what advice would you have for somebody who also wants to change the world, and maybe in a different industry?
Oh, wow, gosh. I don't know. First of all, thank you. I'm really honored that you actually think I'm changing the world. I'm trying. I want everybody to feel, good about themselves, and I want them to believe that they are capable of doing whatever it is that they want in style and in life. Because style is really just a metaphor for everything else. And because clothing is so connected to our identity, it's a great place to start. It's just this perfect storm. I didn't know that having experience in psychology was gonna help me on the show, but boy, did it ever, right? So one of the things I think is what do you wanna change? That's the first objective. I mean, to change the world wasn't my intention. It was to raise a sense of self-awareness and self-esteem in each individual that I got to encounter. And I think that pretty much holds true, that you start small. It's grassroots. Bye, guys. Sorry. Bye. Great vest. Is that embroidered, that vest? Is it? Nice hat. Anyway, I think that you have to decide what person, one by one, you want to help change, whatever industry it is. What is the goal? How do you want to help them? And that's really my best advice, because I didn't know that I wanted to help people. That wasn't really my agenda, right? I just wanted a lot of shoes. That's really, well, guess what? You can do both. You can have both. I'm happy and here to tell you that, yeah. So that's really what I would say is start small and find something that is kind of universally true for each person that you encounter, and be able to have a convincing argument, right? Sway them, and kindness works so much better than mean, bitter hatred. Yes.
Hi, I just wanted to, it's not a question, but I thought, oh my gosh, when am I ever going to be in front of Stacy London? But
Well, could you tell me your name?
my name's Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. I get
Hi.
called Stephanie all the time. It's like, I don't understand. It's Stacy.
And,
But anyway, hey, Steph.
hello. And I knew about you from What Not to Wear, seeing reruns every once in a while, but it wasn't until I read an article that you wrote for Refinery 21 a few weeks back.
29, but yeah.
29, Refinery 21. It's because
Okay, I always call it Refinery 23. Yeah. It's Refinery 20-something. It's Refinery
29.
Millennial.
And to hear or to read your, and I know this is going to sound really bad, but I thought, oh my gosh, Stacy London is just another TV personality on TLC, but reading what
really?
you wrote,
I'm a little person, my 600-pound life, sister wives. I'm just another TLC person. Kill me. Go ahead, Steph. What were you saying?
I want to walk out now. I want to thank you because I never realized the correlation between style and self-esteem. And I've always been the kind of person that kind of hides between that. Oh, I don't care about what I dress, because I always related style with superficiality. And I didn't want to be that person. So hearing you and reading about you, and I researched you and read your book, and I was so amazed with your thoughts and the way that you are really making an impact that is greater than just clothes. And I want to thank you for that, because I'm 24 years old, and thank you for changing my perspective. We actually just got here, and I told my fiance, I'm like, we have to go to Stacy London, and we have to be there. He's like, okay.
Will you come just give me a hug? Because that's like, that is so kind. I mean, thank you. I mean, that's what I live for, actually. And the article that she's referring to was one that I wrote for Refinery 29 that I was a little bit worried about writing, because I wanted to talk about style and aging. I'm 47, and thank you. I've made it thus far. I was 32 when I started What Not to Wear. And I'm not the same person that I was, right? I mean, you evolve from 2002 to 2016. That's a big chunk of time. I don't dress the way I did on What Not to Wear. And it used to make me anxious that I was somehow letting people down by not being the TV persona that you saw on What Not to Wear. But that's only a facet of who I am. And while I didn't want to disappoint people, I also wanted to be authentic in my evolution. And I wanted my style to reflect that. And I don't feel comfortable wearing super short skirts and showing lots of skin, because it feels inappropriate for me. I'm not saying for everybody, I'm saying for me. I like wearing jumpsuits and leather and suits, right? They give me gravitas. And I love that. And I don't know that we're talking enough about how to age gracefully. And I don't mean gracefully like, oh, did she have work done? Or, oh God, did you see that shitty work she had done? Oh my God, she didn't have any work done. Look how old she looks. She actually looks like she's her age. Oh God. There's too much conversation that is about anti-aging creams, anti-aging miraculous cryotherapy. I mean, I don't give a shit about that. I want to be able to live in a society where we revere age, because my age reflects my experience, and my experience is something that I want to share with somebody who's 24. And it makes me very, very proud that that article spoke to you, because it spoke to women in their 40s, and then I had women in their 30s coming up to me and saying, oh my God, what you wrote was so important. I'm struggling with whether I should freeze my eggs, right? I talk to women all the time about what they think they're supposed to be. There's no path that's right. It's only the one that works for you. And sometimes you don't know it until you take a step. If you don't take a step, the path never appears. So don't stand still. Next question. Yes, you right there in the middle. Tell me your name.
My name is Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi. I suddenly got so nervous when you picked me. God. I've been tearing up the whole time you've been talking. I feel like I was a late bloomer. I didn't meet my husband until I was like 39. And we're
Go
now,
you!
Yay. Yay.
You held out.
We did. We had a fairy tale wedding in a castle in Ireland, so it was worth the wait. Very good. But we've been married all of about 3 months, and I'm about 2.9 months pregnant. Woo! Oh my God, that's so awesome. So, like, I know how to be a strong single girl, but I feel like everything inside me is shifting, and literally, I'm like so embarrassed because nothing fits right because my body's changing, making room for the baby. How do you deal with those transition times when you know you're changing, but you don't have that new style yet?
Sure. Okay, there's 2 things I want to say. First, congratulations both on getting married and holding out for the right guy. Second, on making a human. You are literally cooking a turkey. That is an incredible thing to do. That's an incredible thing. And you need to be able to look at your body and appreciate all of those changes for what it's capable of doing. That's pretty miraculous. Microfiber jersey is gonna be your best friend. Honestly. And wear what makes you feel good. My big thing is I love women who wear tight dresses and show off their baby bumps. Even if that means that, your tush is a little bit bigger, your hips are a little bit wider. You're making a human that is both you and the person that you love mixed together. Shut up. It is such an incredible feat. I know, for some of you it seems easy, but it isn't. Do you know how miraculous it is to meet the right person that you want to spend your life with, that you want to make a person with? That's not so easy. We're like lots of little molecules running around. It's like the fact that we even bump into each other is astounding. So that's my advice to you. Next, I have 2 minutes and 41 seconds. You right here going like that. I like that you're doing like a one shoulder vibe. Yeah. Is that on? I don't think it's on. Is this thing on?
It's on.
Oh, it's on. Just talk.
Hi. Oh, I'm so
Hello.
sorry. Hi, I'm Sierra, and I wanted to let you know that my mom absolutely loves you. I called her on the phone
Thank
before
you.
I sat down and I was like, I have to call my mom. And so I called her and I was like, I'm going to watch Stacy London speak. And she freaked out, so I had to tell you, Sandy loves
Hi,
you.
Mom. Hi, Sierra's mom. I bet she's younger than me.
Oh,
I don't care.
you're both beautiful. But because you come off as such a confident woman, and that's awesome to see. But I want to know how, when you get down on yourself, how do you boost yourself back up?
That's a great question. I let Erica Domasek introduce me. That's usually what I do. If I'm feeling shitty, I just let her say good things about me, and I'm good with it. No, look, I'm not. I try to be confident. I certainly feel confident when I am talking to you about all of the stuff that I'm talking about, because I have experience with it. But if you read this Refinery 29 article, you will see that I still struggle. Once you admit to a problem or once you admit to an insecurity, it doesn't mean it goes away. It just means that you've shown a light on it. It makes it more visible. And the minute you can say, I'm in the trenches with you, the problem gets smaller. The minute that you can find people you relate to, the problem gets smaller because you can all help each other. That's why I try to surround myself with beautiful, intelligent, amazing individuals, because they lift me up when I can't lift myself up. All right, I got time for one more. Right there on you, white, stand up. I mean, white shirt, not Caucasian.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Randy.
Randy?
And yes, hi.
Oh,
Like
hi.
the boy. Like the boy. I grew up watching What Not to Wear with my mother and my
Hey,
grandmother.
Mom.
And
Love your top.
I love you. Yes. And so this is really not about anything, but my mom's 50th birthday is on Sunday, and I wanted
Happy birthday, 50?
That's all. Yeah. Doesn't she look fabulous?
She looks fabulous.
Yeah. I mean,
Stand
great.
up, Mom.
But-
Stand up. You got to show everybody.
I just wanted you to say happy birthday to her, and that's all.
Wait, hold on. Do you want me to sing? Just because I can't sing doesn't mean I won't sing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Jamie.
Jamie. Happy birthday to you. Guys, thank you. I mean,
And,
truly, you are the reason that life feels really beautiful right now. So I want to thank every single one of you for being here. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your questions, but I'm happy to answer them, like right down here if you have a burning question you need answered. Jamie, did you have a question besides saying happy birthday? Oh, you're welcome. My God, I've never sung on stage before, so pop that cherry. Thank you guys very much.
In the morning, like my